World Leprosy Day is observed internationally every year on the last Sunday of January to increase the public awareness of leprosy or Hansen's disease. Leprosy is a forgotten disease believed to be extinct. However, the statistics show that nearly 600 more people are diagnosed with and start treatment for leprosy every day around the globe. The majority of new leprosy cases occur in India, Brazil, and Indonesia, where diagnosis is often delayed by limited access to health services or fear of stigma and discrimination. At Pedicircle, we are conducting an exclusive series on the occasion of the World Leprosy Day. Through this series, we aim to create awareness about leprosy and put a stop to the discrimination and stigma against people with leprosy by busting out many myths which are associated with this disease and sharing the views of individuals and organizations that are doing a commendable work for leprosy patients. In this initiative, we are speaking to Deepak Chakar today. Dr. Deepak is an internationally acclaimed dermatologist with multiple awards and scholarships and prestigious organizations like American Academy of Dermatology and European Academy of Dermatology and Venerology. With more than 100 publications in various reputed journals, he is one of the top young researchers in the field of dermatology. Hi, Dr. Deepak. Welcome to MediCircle.
Hello, Ms. Smita. Thank you for having me here. And I think it's a wonderful initiative that you have taken about a neglected disease. In fact, I would say that leprosy is one of the infectious diseases which is considered under the neglected tropical diseases. And not only it is worrying as a disease, but also uh, it is different from other diseases in the sense that it causes deformity, it leads to stigmatization of the patients, and it leads to kind of various physical as well as emotional as well as and psychological impact on the patient. So all keeping all these things into mind, I think it's a very great initiative by your organization to conduct this interview on a disease which has been neglected for years now.
Sure. So, Dr. Deepak, my first question is what is your contribution to the benefit of leprosy patients and towards the eradication of leprosy in India?
So I've been working with the leprosy patients for the past 6 years now. I've worked in various institutions, and throughout, like right from my training, we have been trained to into the diagnosis of the disease, to see the various signs and symptoms which leads to the diagnosis of the disease, to counsel the patients, to see for the contact screening of these patients, to counsel the contacts as well, then to making sure that these patients are getting the right treatment, getting the treatment in a regular interval. We all know that MDT is the standard treatment for leprosy, so we make sure that these patients are coming on on a regular interval to take their treatment. We also monitor these patients regularly, like we call them monthly, and we see like what is the progression of the disease, if these patients are falling into complications like neuritis or maybe deformities. So we keep a check of that, and any deformity is taken care of then and there in the subsequent visits. So all these kind of things, and we also keep a track record of the progress of the disease. We keep a monitoring written as well as into the computerized systems about how the disease is progressing, how much they are improving. As of now, I think there are more than 10,000 dermatologists in India, and most of them are trained in seeing and taking care of these leprosy patients. And they form the major backbone of the various leprosy programs. As far as the management of these patients is concerned. So when we say that we are managing the patients, we are not only making sure that they are getting cured of the disease, but also we are making sure that they are not spreading the disease into the community. So treatment is one aspect which we are taking care of. Also we are taking care of is the fact that this disease is not getting spread into the community. We know that the goal is still far away from our reach, and I think there is a lot much to do about that.
Sure. India has eliminated leprosy, I think, as a public healthcare program in 2005, but it has re-emerged in different states with very high intensity. So, what do you think were the drawbacks for its comeback?
So I would like to take this question as a fact that when we see the progress of the various leprosy programs, we see that there has been a global change in 1980s, when we were seeing somewhere around like 5 million cases per year, and we have been able to bring them down to somewhere like 200,000 cases, new cases per year now. But it is also the fact that after reaching this particular goal, the global elimination of leprosy was achieved in 2000. India achieved that in 2005. But since then, what we are seeing is that the decrease in the number of cases has been very little. In fact, over the years, we have seen in some of the years there has been increase in the number of cases. So I think what I feel is that the word elimination has been mistaken by the people as well as some of the stakeholders as well. Elimination does not mean that we have eliminated this disease. It simply means that it is still prevalent, but the prevalence of this disease is less than 1 per 10,000 of the population. Given the size of Indian population, which is in crores, if you multiply this number, we still have a major chunk of the disease in our country. Second thing was, when we are saying that we eliminated leprosy, we are talking on a national level,
Yes.
which is not the case as far as the district level is concerned. So I think we should have focused more on the district level elimination, because there are certain pockets in various states which are very heavily contaminated, which have a huge number of cases in those districts, and probably the elimination was never achieved in those districts. So we should have focused on the district level, and then after elimination at the district level, we could have said that we have eliminated leprosy. But again, I would like to say elimination does not mean eradication. Eradication is altogether a different thing. Elimination means that it is just the prevalence is less than 1 per 10,000 of the cases. So the goal is still far from our reach, and we have seen, like in 2019 data which has recently come, we still have the new cases in India is somewhere around 1,14,451 new cases, which is a huge number. And to add to that, when we see that how many of them are the child cases, we still have 7,859 child cases. Now, the importance of recognizing this huge number is the fact, whenever we see that we have a child case in leprosy, we are indicating that new cases are coming up. The incidence is still there. These children are getting infected, as well as we are getting cases with grade 2 deformities, which indicates that there has been a delay in the diagnosis of these cases, which again is significant, because if we are causing delay, then somewhere the programs, they are somewhere failing in achieving the goal. They are somewhere failing in reaching to the people who can come up to the diagnosis, so that we can diagnose them early on, we can start them on treatment early on, and we can prevent the deformities in these patients.
So, Dr. Deepak, two things which I would like to understand from you. One is, what is child cases when we are referring to leprosy?
Yeah.
This is the first one. The second one is why it is leprosy is dominant in only some pockets, and it is the spread is too if it is of too much intensity. Are there any specific reasons for that?
So child cases is whenever a patient of less than 15 years of age is coming to us. So we label that particular case as a child case. The importance I've just discussed is that this index particularly indicates that there is transmission of the disease in the community. So we take this indicator as a marker of activity of the disease, as a marker that the disease is spreading in the community. Now, coming to your second question about the districts, these districts already have a huge number of patients. So and plus poverty, overcrowding, all these factors contribute to the spread of the disease in these communities. So whenever like a number of patients are inhabiting in a particular area, there is a chance that the contacts of these patients will also be getting the disease. Now, as we know, the manifestations of the disease can come in a year, it can come in 5 years, it can come in 10 years. So sometimes we are failing to recognize that these contacts might be having the disease. They might manifest it today, they might manifest it 5 years down the line. So I think these districts are the one where we should be focusing right now. All the programs, all the NGOs should be focusing on these districts, because the prevalence of the disease, the incidence of the disease is huge in those districts.
Dr. Deepak, leprosy continues to be stigmatized in India. Like, what measures do you think are required to dispel it? And also, what are the preventative measures one could take to stop the spread?
So, as a matter of fact, again, a data of 2019, there were 108 discrimination cases which have been reported on the WHO website worldwide. And
Okay.
out of those 108, 102 were from India. So you can see, like, it was almost like more than 90% of the cases were from India. It's a good thing in a sense that we are having laws to identify these cases. We are reporting these cases, which is a good thing in my opinion. But I also would like to say that we need to have strict laws to, kind of to kind of remove these discriminations from the society, to remove the stigmatization of leprosy from the society altogether. Now, when I say stigmatization, we need to understand that it's at three levels. First is at the personal level, which is a self-perceived. The patient, herself or himself perceives that, he's having some deformity, he's not looking like a normal person, so he's stigmatizing himself. So that is one level of stigmatization. The second level is from the relatives, from the peers. So they tell them, okay, you look different, or you look like that, you have this deformity. And the third one is the community. The community as a whole sees these patients as different. So I think we need to tackle all these different types of stigmatizations which are prevalent, and these can be tackled, by inclusion of these patients into the mainstream. So mainstreaming of these patients into the various programs is one of the way to achieve that. Now I'll come to the various programs on the global and the Indian and the national level which are being undertaken to kind of decrease stigmatization and discrimination. And the first one is the WHO global strategy for leprosy, which was a 5-year program. Basically, it started in 2016 and it progressed till 2020. So what this program was intending to do was, it had like pillars like, increased functioning of the government, increased incorporation of the government strategies, streamlining the government strategies for the care of these leprosy patients, detection of the leprosy cases, giving them treatment, preventing the deformities. And the third very major pillar of this program was to prevent discrimination and stigmatization. So WHO itself realizes that, this disease is associated with stigmatization and discrimination. So it has made that pillar a third major pillar of its strategy for the 5 years to decrease the prevalence. As far as India is concerned, so at the national level, there was this leprosy case detection campaign. So in this campaign, again, the healthcare workers were sent to these districts, these colonies where these leprosy patients are there, and they were spreading the knowledge about the disease. They were spreading that, it's wrong to have discrimination and stigmatization of these patients. The third one was the SPERSH program, and the purpose of SPERSH was again very interesting, because what they did was they spread the awareness about discrimination and stigmatization in an attempt. Their purpose was, if they eliminate the discrimination, if they remove this stigmatization, probably some of the hidden cases which we were discussing earlier, probably these hidden cases will come to the centers and will probably take the treatment. The fourth one is an online program, again, a very important. It is by the name Nikusht. So it is a web-based system program where you can report, a new leprosy case, where you can report the discrimination against or the stigmatization, whatever is happening. So you don't need to go to any place. You just have to log in, and you can report anything which is related to leprosy. So I think the programs are realizing this fact that this disease has discrimination and stigmatization, and they are probably moving in the right direction by trying to create awareness, by trying to include these patients into the mainstream.
Definitely. Now, talking about the vaccine for leprosy, which has already been developed, so is it a required immunization for children? And if not, do you think it should be included in the list of required vaccines?
So the National Leprosy Eradication Program, NLEP, which we call it as, so
Yes.
it introduced this vaccine in 2016, and some of the trials were conducted with this vaccine. The very major one was in the Kanpur Dehat district, and the results were very encouraging with this vaccine, saying that the efficacy of this vaccine may go up to like somewhere around 6 to 8 years post vaccination. And the results were very, very, very encouraging for the children as when you compare it with the adults. But mainstreaming this vaccination program into our national vaccination program would be a difficult task, because we need to have more research, because we need to have more robust data, not only about the efficacy but also about the safety, which is a major thing for the vaccines. So we have to have more research into this field. Second is the availability of the vaccine is still not widespread, so it is still limited to the research process. So the current project is in the Gujarat, where the 4 districts are being monitored for the efficacy of this vaccine along with the MDT, as well as they are taking patients just for the vaccines, and they are not giving them MDT. So they are seeing the effect of this vaccine onto the cases which are already having the leprosy, and onto the contexts which are supposed to kind of uh, develop leprosy later on in their disease duration. So they are targeting the both the limbs, but the cost, the availability, and the research issues are the things which are preventing the NLEP to implement this vaccination in all the children. And I think this is a very distant thought that it might get incorporated. Why? Because we already have MDT,
Yes.
which is very cheaply available, and it is quite effective in treating the cases. Plus, second, we know that it is prevalent in certain districts only. So wide on a national level, giving a vaccine for the disease which is on the verge of elimination, I think it's a very distant thought, in my opinion.
Thank you so much, Dr. Deepak, for joining MediCircle and throwing light on this less talked about subject, which is leprosy. And on this occasion of the World Leprosy Day Awareness Series, I think through your important information, a lot of the web programs which are there to report these cases, and so that the patient is not at all exactly fighting with the disease, but he or she is actually fighting with a lot of stigma which is attached. So I think these programs can definitely help the patient to better take on this disease and then start living with a life of dignity once this is completely cured.
Thank you, Ms. Mehta. I think it was a pleasure to talk on this topic, and it is really wonderful that MediCircle is doing such webinars on kind of diseases which have been neglected. Thank you so much.
Most right.